Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me where we're going to be doing some breath openers today and just starting in a comfortable position. You can honestly start this maybe standing or lying down. I'm going to show you what it's like from standing. We're going to be doing a little bit of floor work and then finishing standing as well. So just getting comfortable, maybe laying a mat out and just starting by feeling the feet on the floor, finding that groundedness. Toes to pick up, and you're going to place them down one by one, feeling the weight and the imprint of your feet on the floor, and you'll do the same with the heels and just find some sort of flow, whatever feels good for you and your body today, just feeling the weight. You're then going to imagine you're a puppet. The puppeteer pulls your elbows, then your wrists, then your fingers, and one by one with an exhale you're just going to allow them to drop. Maybe you want to give a bit of a shimmy, maybe you want to go straight into the drop. A lot of this practice is just invitations. I then invite you to allow your head to drop down and then rolling down the spine, just making sure that the head stays heavy. Maybe you want to give a stretch, and when you stretch over to one side, you want to breathe into the opposite rib. So stretching over to the right, breathing into the left rib cage and vice versa, before stepping out into a downward dog, maybe pedaling the feet, whatever feels good for you today. Then when you're ready, you might want to come down onto all fours, just again undulating the spine, noticing where the breath is, cat-cowing in whatever position is good for you today. In this position, I'm going to bring my hands forward, open the knees, head back into child's pose. And in this position, I'm really going to focus in on allowing the breath to drop into my lower back, really feeling some sort of expansion in the lower back here as I allow the hips to open. After a few deep breaths here, you're going to gently come onto your back, lying in semi-supine, whatever way feels good for you today. And remember that all of this can feel like one motion. So we're trying to allow any space for discomfort. You might be in a little bit of back pain. Things might feel a little bit sore. So it's allowing space for that, but making sure that you're not uncomfortable. And so the first thing I want to do when I'm in semi-supine is just place one hand on the chest, one on the belly, and just feel where my breath is at today, noticing where it's dropping into, giving space to whatever feels good, whatever doesn't feel so good, and just allowing it all to be there. We're then going to come into diagonal stretch, so bringing the knees into the belly, dropping them over to one side, arms in line with the shoulders, and looking over to the opposite direction in which your knees are going. We're going to think about allowing the breath to drop into the hip that's connected to the floor. So if your hips are round to the left, you breathe into the left hip before swapping over. So thinking about that breath, opening up the hip that's making contact with the floor. Again, feel free to adjust. The knees can be further away from the body, closer to the body, whatever feels good to you today. In your own time, nice and gently coming back into semi-supine, breathing into both hips here. And when you're ready, rolling onto one side, coming up, maybe wanting to do some dynamic hip stretches. You can tell that today I was really feeling like I needed to open up the hips, so any sort of movement in this space and actively breathing through the stretch is going to be really lovely for me. And sitting on the seat bones, knees in front of me, I'm just going to really use the toes, breathing into the toes as I rotate my whole trunk. So bringing my left hand to the back, right hand to the outer part of my left knee, breathing into that spinal stretch as I rotate into the other side. Remember, throughout, we're just consciously allowing that breath to drop in. I'm then going to roll over back into a child's pose, trying to keep it active as I once again find some sort of twist as I bring my fingertips over to the left. I'm going to breathe into my right rib cage. And then keeping my fingertips over to the right, I'm breathing into the left rib cage. So just finding that different twist variation. We've gone from diagonal stretch to sitting upright to being in child's pose. Bringing the fingertips back towards the center, rolling up, coming into cat-cow position again, undulating the spine, thinking about maybe exhaling as you bring the head up, inhaling as you bring the head down, and just finding that flow, finding that trust in the body. Connecting breath to movement is going to be a really amazing way of just opening up the intercostal muscles and really connecting you today. Keeping my right hand on the floor, I'm going to bring my left ear to the ground as I tuck my left arm underneath my armpit for a lovely stretch. And doing the same on the other side. Bringing the hands up, tucking the toes under, bringing my hands towards the feet, just hanging here like a rag doll, allowing things to be heavy, breathing into the lower back, breathing into my pelvic floor. And here I'm really, again, just doing what feels good. So I'm going to find some more twists, actively breathing into the stretched side. But you can come up sooner, you can come up before, whatever feels good to you today. I'm then going to come to the middle of the mat just to show you how I like to continue my hip openers and breathing into the hips. So I'm just starting at feet being wide and hip width apart and just constantly moving my weight from one foot to the other until I'm gradually using my fingertips to touch the ground. Again, keeping that dynamic stretching going. I'm really trying to focus on allowing the breath to drop into my pelvis here. And as you can tell, I want to start swinging from the head, starting to feel that heaviness. For me, I really was craving this sense of flow, so I'm then going to bring it into the hips and draw big circles with the hips as I actively allow the breath in and allow the breath out of the body. That then brought me into these arm swings where we're just going to allow the arms to start swinging round and round and round. And I'm trying to allow the breath out on every other alteration. Once that momentum dies down, I'm going to find a wall, but you don't have to. And I'm going to continue those leg swings just on one side each. Again, I'm trying to exhale on every other swing. So you can do it on F. If you're going into voicing after this, you can also do this on some voiced fricatives, maybe a Z or a J, whenever it feels good. Once you've done both sides, you're once again going to do side-to-side swings. And remember, this isn't like a ballet thing, so don't worry about how high your leg's getting, and don't worry about the flexibility. Go to what feels good for you and your body today. This just tends to be a lovely way of starting to integrate that floor work that you've already done to open up the ribs. Once you feel satisfied with your leg swings, you're going to come to the center, and I just wanted to include some ski swings, so I'm just bringing my arms up, letting them fall, feeling the weight of the floor, yielding to gravity in this way. Again, not trying to be perfect, not worrying too much about the big breath and the inhalation, but just allowing my body to breathe itself, allowing that movement to guide me. And finally, when standing, I am going to do a few intercostal specific stretches. So bringing one arm above the head, holding the wrist, Stretching the wrist open, I'm just going to rub the ribs that are being stretched. You might want to massage them, you might want to pat them, you might want to do all of them, and maybe finish off with a light squeeze of the ribs on this side and just breathing into the hand that's holding them. Maybe trying that 3 times or so, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Releasing that arm and just noticing the expansion that you might feel in one side compared to the other before moving over. Once you've allowed that to drop, you might want to give another fiddle around the intercostals. And I'm going to play with the back of the ribs by bringing my arms above my head, stretching my shoulders under, and clasping my fingers together. I'm kind of drawing figures of 8s with my wrists. Again, you can release this on a sh, s, z, v, whatever sound you like. And I'm just really bringing the ribs up and up and up and up, bringing my shoulders to my neck, releasing the arms, squeezing everything in the body to give a sigh of relief as I roll the head around, squeezing again and releasing, maybe going into a little bit of a jiggle before finding my place. And I wanted to finish off my practice this morning with just some more head rolls, spinal rolls, bringing the head up and letting it drop again. Going at whatever pace you like. I hope you've enjoyed this opener. If you would like to see more videos like this, please let me know. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope your body feels well rested and rejuvenated. Wishing you all the best, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.